now, welcome to Live on Four Legs, the instant reaction episode from night one of the Dark Matter Tour from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. That's right, there's one under our belt. There was so much anticipation and so much hype building up into this show, and now we know exactly, well, maybe not exactly, but we have a little bit of the blueprint of what the Dark Matter Tour is. We got a lot of people to talk to. We got a lot of discussion coming off this first show here, from some rarities in this set to a lot of Dark Matter songs. Only two not played. Surprisingly, one of them being Waiting for Stevie and the other one being Got to Give. But everything else brought up on this night. Now, we are going to hear from Mar and some friends out on site in a little bit, but I think it's time for us to react. Before we do, just so everybody knows, this is a free episode through Patreon and liveon4legs.com. If you're listening to this, welcome. And every episode after this will be featured on our Patreon through subscription. So all it will cost you is $1 a month, and you will get all of the Dark Matter instant reaction episodes until we're done with the series in November in Australia. So if that's something that you're interested in, patreon.com/liveon4legs. If you are listening to this on liveon4legs.com, there is a become a patron button right at the top. Every single episode you will get if you join up on Patreon. Now, thank you for listening to that. Let's introduce the cast and crew. Randy Sobel over here, John Farrar over there, Javier Hervas over there. This is a packed crowd. What's going on, guys? We just saw the first show of the year, and quick, instant reaction. Like, give us a newspaper headline here.
Yeah, I'm super glad they played a bunch of Dark Matter songs and screens, like using those screens to good effect, it seemed like.
Hobbs?
Yeah, stoked. I'm just like, all my expectations were fulfilled for night one, for sure.
Now, let's talk about this first. So you had a lot of takes for what you were hearing on their boards, especially when we saw on Stern. You got to see a lot of the pedal board stuff. How much of that was utilized? What'd you hear from this sonically?
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that it was different to me. There was a lot of things that also caught my attention. Like there was a lot of like kind of wishy-washy effects, like flangers, choruses here and there. Mike going fully digital, like there's no tube amps at all. At the same thing, Stone's running the same thing, but it's just like, for what I was able to hear through the live streamings and all the people that they were broadcasting for us, which is, we got to be very thankful for that too. Um, it's just they sounded great. I think one of my biggest thing is like, okay, did this song sounded like the album was um recorded and meant to be, or they added their own twist like Pearl Jam does live? Like I guess that's my biggest question that hopefully I could figure it out when I get to see them in Seattle.
It really sounded from the other side here, listening to those streams, that, yeah, like listening to Upper Hand Won't Tell, like I saw no flaw from live performance to record. I heard everything that I heard on that record outside of compression. That that
We're not
I
going to
had
get into that. It's
recognized.
too late for that.
What do you think now? Let's talk about some of the Dark Matter songs here. What do you think was the highlight out of all this? I think that all of them really met my expectation. And that kind of goes along with listening to the record and being like, okay, that'll work here, that'll work there, that'll work there. And we got 9 of the 11, which is pretty incredible. As I said, all of them fit exactly into what my head was expecting. I thought that Upper Hand would steal the show, and I was right on that. I loved Upper Hand. Records was very, very good. Dark Matter was very, very good. Scared of Fear was very, very good. I didn't see like a lot of difference though, and that's okay. That's okay. And I think something that we had mentioned before was that because they recorded a lot of this record live, that we were going to pretty much get what we got. And it's a nice thing that at least, outside of watching it at the show, and we'll know from Mar in a little bit, it seemed like those songs felt like those songs.
Well, it felt like Mike was going putting a little bit extra into Scared of Fear and React Respond. Felt like the solo in React Respond was definitely a little different from the record. It felt like he was putting a little extra into that. But
I'll
yeah, I
disagree with
mean,
that.
getting those first four in order, everyone thought, oh, here we go. We're gonna get the whole thing, and then they go into Daughter instead of Won't Tell, and everyone kind of goes, but maybe
Yeah.
they'll do it at some point. But then you got kind of the two blocks of them, and then a couple in the encore, which was cool. But yeah, I think Scared of Fear and React Respond, just it's going to be so interesting to see, to kind of track how Mike progresses on those and what he's throwing in. Is that going to be the new kind of even flow porch, like Nothing As It Seems moment, where he's going to get some time to expand on those solos?
Yeah, the solos definitely had a lot of beef. They had a lot of structure. Sonically, for me, the highlights of the night were Upper Hand. I think that was like a jaw dropper for me,
And
especially
playing
because,
guitar on that one.
yeah, I was gonna say that they were
Was
playing the
that the
intro
only
live.
was that the only Dark Matter song he played on?
I think
I
so.
didn't I didn't see it on Wreckage. I don't
Yeah.
think I saw it on something special. Those were the only other two that I wasn't sure about.
But yeah, and then Won't Tell. I'm a sucker for Won't Tell, so I'm sorry if people don't like that song. Your problem, but I think sonically, it's just an exquisite song in the way that it's made. So for me, those were the high.
The visuals on Won't Tell were really cool too.
That was
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But like adding back to John, what he was saying about the solos, like they had so much beef. And I think, I mean, we didn't get any even flows tonight, or Porch was pretty good too. But
Did you miss it?
that, what?
Did you miss Even Flow? Like I felt like we went through the set. I didn't even think about it.
No, not that I missed it, but I was just wanted to get to the point that maybe now that we have Scare of Fear and React Respond, maybe that's going to be the Mike moment, like John was saying.
Yeah, it's not a bad thought. It's
Yeah.
not a bad thought. And
Right.
No
look,
10 songs until Porch.
right, right, and we only got 3 overall, which is
Hmm.
absolutely insane. But I think we'll really find out. I can't see a world where Monday's set happens and we don't talk about Waiting for Stevie, because I think
Right.
that is going to be the one that truly shows where Mike is with this record, and that is with this record as well.
Yeah, that jam at the end is going to be, yeah, everybody's going to be eating sandwiches as Mike and going to continue to do solos, man.
For
I'm looking forward for that, whatever that happens.
for real here. Now, there's a couple stories. So, the first 4 songs happen, and I think we were all shocked because just about 90% of the people that were trying to predict this set all said that they were going to open with either Scared of Fear, Upper Hand. I'd been thinking that Dark Matter would be the opener, but I think everybody was kind of thrown for a loop when they opened with Wash. Almost like, whoa, okay, we're going back to a rare song, and B, this is sort of old school Pearl Jam, because it reminded me a lot of the Lightning Bolt tour. Wash, Low Light, Elderly Woman. That's very much a Lightning Bolt 3-song intro. There was no stools
Yeah.
out there, but it felt like
Right.
kind of the easygoing settle into the set, and then Given to Fly following the 3 of those. Like it was really after Low Light where I'd said, "You guys ready? Are you fucking ready?" Like I thought Care to Fear was coming right after that.
Yeah. And like they didn't use the screens at all until Given to Fly. That was another thing. It's like I thought they would come out strong with like some visual thing to kind of make that effect, but they started out really slowly, like just the kind of silhouettes during Given to Fly of them playing. And then when Scared of Fear started, then you started to see some of the visualizer stuff mixed with some other effects and everything. But yeah, I mean, I was just, yeah, I was shocked. I mean, it felt like a new era. You want to come out with the new stuff, but you end up getting 9, so you can't really complain.
No, not at all. I'm going to take it to the end of the set here, because I think one of the more interesting things that happens is that you go through this set, you go through the encore. It's pretty beefy encore compared to what we've gotten in 2022, 2023. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a total of 8. and you get the bread and butter. You get Alive, Rockin' in the Free World, Yellow, Ledbetter. And then you think after Ledbetter, like, all right, see you later, goodbye. And one of the things, if you guys had listened to the Destined to Remember live stream that we do with Dave Jantash from livefootsteps.org and Anthony Kashewitz from the Touring Fan Live, is that I had kind of mentioned, I think Anthony brought up, like, what song would you get rid of on this tour? And I had mentioned Ledbetter just for the fact of I want to see a new closing song. And here we got it. They did the whole house lights thing and kind of said, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then we see a video come on the screen and the lights kind of dim down again. And we're like, oh, okay. You hear kind of that beat, that intro Setting Sun, and that's going to be how we close it. And boy, was that refreshing, guys. Like, just seeing something else in that spot and giving it a different attitude, a different identity that feels like Dark Matter, because that's one of the things that they just don't have from the last 10 to 20 years is that song at the end of the set that makes it feel specific to that era, because it's always been Ledbetter. And granted, yeah, it does deserve to be Ledbetter, but a change in pace just like this, getting Ledbetter into Setting Sun, I think changes the whole landscape of what you got at the end of the set.
Yeah, and I think this is Ed being mercurial and having a laugh at the crowd, like, okay, guys, we're gonna do Ledbetter, we're gonna say goodbye, we're gonna do the whole thing, and then we're gonna cut the lights and play another song, and everyone's gonna freak out. And now that they've done that, people are gonna be expecting it, so we'll see how they play it going forward. If they just leave the lights on and go into it, because you're not going to be able to pull that over on people for the rest of the tour, because it's going to get around. But yeah, they totally, I think they totally viked everyone out and pulled the switcheroo. Everyone thought the show was over. And we'll hear what Mara and the group have to say about it. But I love that they just pulled the switcheroo and went into something different, because Setting Sun is, it's different than, it's got a different vibe than Indifference. It's got a different vibe than ending with like Bob O'Reilly or something like that. It's a more kind of hopeful thing, the last line, like, let us not fade. I think it gives a different, it's just going to be a different energy to the end. I hope they keep doing it.
Yeah, and the other thing that I would like to point out too is, I don't know if you guys noticed, but on all the screens and all the visual game that it was behind it, that actually remind me so much of Radiohead and U2, like a mix of those two. It was pretty cool to see that the same concept that we started the show with, like John was saying, like, you see the silhouettes, you see that kind of like half sphere or half sun with black and white light, and that's it. And then we get the same thing at the end. It's kind of like, okay, we welcome you to this new experience, this new Dark Matter thing, and now this is our goodbye. It might add to maybe have a little bit more predictable, like, closer for this tour, if that's the concept that they're gonna follow. But I think it adds a little bit more towards the emotion of the show and like the experience of us, the fans, because now you have this thing that is just like, it represents a concept. I thought that was the coolest thing, and yeah, when all the lights went down, it's like, what is going on? Like, and then Setting Songs started to be played, and I'm like, wow, I was not expecting this at all.
Yeah, the best thing about Pearl Jam shows is trying to get away from the expectation. And one of the things that I guess that I thought about for a while, that it's like it's too predictable, is Ledbetter. And really, Alive, Rock and
Yeah, you
Ledbetter,
never know what you're gonna get.
you never know. And because they pulled that out, I think that might have been one of my favorite highlights from this. And that's saying a lot, because so many of these Dark Matter songs were just played so well. Is there a highlight or something that surprised you guys that you guys want to point out here that you heard?
I've got a couple of things I want to hit on real quick. There was a long intro to Leatherman, the first time that'd been played since 2016. That was very cool. And Cameron requested that on the BBC Zane Lowe review that they did. So that was cool that came back.
We
Yeah,
all
yeah,
love
yeah.
a conspiracy now,
Yeah. The encore when Ed had the projector doing the calligraphy, like talking about, go Kraken, I'm fucking with you, go Canucks, and then asking for requests, one at a time. I'm sure, like, I hope that that's going to be something different every time. It's going to be specific to what's going. But he was just on the side of the stage writing on a projector, which was awesome. The Jennifer thing at the end of Black, I'm sure we're gonna have to. People are gonna be talking about who's Jennifer, and then it's felt like there was a Jack and Sue in there. Maybe he's giving out shout outs to people during the song now. Do the evolution, the video playback felt like at the beginning it was just going to be the video, and then it seemed like it was an alternate version. Like there were some different visuals in there as it went on. So maybe there's like an alternate do the evolution video. But yeah, a lot of didn't even mention Chloe Crown, which was amazing to throw in. But yeah, a lot of stuff to look for going forward.
Yeah, for me, this whole new experience about the screens and the new dynamic that the stage has for the band and everything, it's just like it has opened my appetite for so much more now, because now I want to see what else in store for the rest of the songs that we didn't hear tonight. How is going to be the experience combined with the screens? Like, it completely blew my mind. Also, like, do the evolution, like John and you, Randy, were saying, it's just like a twister version of it, and you see like the band members part of the cartoon. That was visually my favorite part. And then, as I said before, that upper hand won't tell combo that it was sonically, for me, that was my highlight for the night for sure.
Oh yeah, I loved watching the evolution video up there and seeing sort of the silhouette of Mike and Stone on the sides, and it was kind of boxed in a way where you were able to kind of see little flashes of those shots from the video in the middle, and then you see the silhouettes of the band on the side. I thought that was done brilliantly. That's the kind of stuff that you need the video screen for, like utilize it to its best efforts. And overall with the video screen, I was very happy that we didn't get, the blatant movie visualizers. Yeah, it was a little bit different. I mean, they still had the same identity as the visualizers, but it was a little bit different, and it kind of set the tone along with what they were playing as well. But you mentioned Chloe and Crown, and I think as far as surprises go, yeah, Leatherman's a surprise, Red Mosquito was a surprise, but I think the way that Ed accidentally fucks it up by before running introducing Chloe and saying, "Oh, this is for a young girl and her father," and being like, "Wait, no, 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 that's not the right song for right now."
Yeah.
And then, because that holds you, obviously, potato, potato. Of course, I have to mention it every single time. Sorry, guys, don't care. But you're hearing running, and all throughout running, during the spuds, you're thinking like, what the hell song was he talking about? Like,
Right.
where could they be going with this? And I think maybe the last song on my mind was Chloe Dancer. I actually
Yeah.
thought that it was going to be because he said something about the girl's name, and I thought it was going to be
Mm-hmm.
Wait for Stevie. But
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
and just a note on Crown of Thorns. Some of you may have remembered this, but in 2022 and 2023, when they played it a little bit, I don't believe they used the substitute teacher verse. I think they
Yeah,
took
no, they
that
were
out,
skipping that line. Yeah.
went straight to the bridge from that chorus, and ended the song to save a little time. The song is complete, guys. So I think we
And
made a huge upgrade.
we lost the Tiny Dancer version, which I didn't like either.
Well,
But
that,
what would you? Okay, I got a question. Would it have been too much to show some visuals of Andy on the screen when that was playing, or would that have just been too much?
too cheap.
Ooh.
No,
Yeah, I don't.
we
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
we
Yeah,
need him.
I
That's
don't
yeah.
know.
that's like
Yeah.
right next to having a hologram of him.
Nah, I don't know.
Like if it's, I don't know, if he teed it up with Mother Love Bone or something like that, if
Yeah,
they were like, oh, we found these pictures
right.
sitting in a box,
Yeah,
then yeah,
just some
of course.
pictures, not video or anything, but just some pictures, just a little little something.
If there was a story attached to it, I'd say yeah, but
Yeah,
randomly, no,
yeah.
no. Um,
That's a tough call. That's a tough call.
yeah. All right. Well, I think let's throw it to Mar, and she's with Margaret and Kylie right now, and they, the whole thing was night one, you always get night one as the technical difficulties here. And that's where we sat with this one, unfortunately. So anybody that was at the show that was looking forward to doing a little post game, unfortunately, it kind of didn't quite work out the way we expected it to. But that's why we go out there and we learn. We learn, and hopefully Monday will be different, and hopefully the rest of the tour will be different, where we will have that congregation of people meet up. So again, if you're going to any of these shows, this will happen. The post-game report will happen, and you'll have a great time and, talk about what you just saw. I think it's going to be great from that standpoint. So we're going to hear from them. They recorded something on their voice notes. We give them a bunch of questions. So let's throw to that and see what they have to say right from the experience of being at that show.
All right. So it was one of the things that we wanted to talk about. Let me see. What did you think about the screens?
Loved them.
It was different.
I freaking loved, honestly, I loved them. The shadows and stuff, I thought that was so cool.
Yes, the shadows.
I did miss the behind stage piece, like the seats and stuff. I love that.
Yeah,
I thought
like
it was
to
better
cut
than
off
the
like
screens
that.
hanging everywhere, like with the crowd. I thought this was so different. I loved it.
Yeah, I thought it looked really beautiful, and the different, like, it was actually not quite what I expected. Like, I thought there would be more of the visuals that we saw in the theaters. So I'm really glad they didn't do that. I mean, of course they wouldn't, but I guess I was a little worried that might happen. I liked the different camera angles of the band, and I loved it when they had like, Mike soloing and then the rest of the band in like the silhouette,
Yeah.
And then I also felt like, side note, different outfits. Like Mike had a new jacket and Eddie had a new hat.
But I like it's something different than I've ever seen them do. It was completely brand new, but exciting, and it wasn't new and just like, okay, this is weird. Like, it just felt, and the new songs, what I loved is it, like, what did I say to you, Margaret? Like, it felt like they didn't feel new. They felt like they've been around. Like, when they sang them,
Like we were familiar already.
Yeah, which was so great.
Yeah,
And Jeff looked good with his idol shirt, and it looked like a brand new t-shirt.
yeah, I got from the show, just like us.
Yeah.
And then, so we were like just talking about like what we thought about the calligraphy during the encore. I thought that was super
That was the best.
endearing and sweet, and
and funny. Like he was a little cheeky.
super cheeky. I loved of course, the May the 4th be with you. It was adorable. I liked how they had the camera on him when he was writing these little notes and scribbling. And you got to talk about the Canucks.
Well, that was pretty funny when he wrote he said go Kraken, and we're like boo, and then I'm just fucking with you, go Canucks. And then when he mentioned our coach, but he spelled Tocchet like Rick Tocchet, he spelled his name wrong, but it's like, okay, that's pretty cool, he knows who our coach is. And then of course he had to mention Chelios because that's like one of his best friends. But
yeah, why did everybody boo
for which?
For Chelios when they like
I don't know, I was yelling Chelly because I love Chelios. He's actually my brother-in-law's favorite player.
Oh, yeah. I was just like, why is that? I'm like, is there something that I don't know about?
No,
I mean, obviously,
he's great. I've been watching him since, a really long time.
Yeah.
He was great.
Yeah.
He played in Chicago for many years.
And then, let's see. What Dark Matter songs were your favorite ones?
I think Something Special. That was just so sweet. And then I wonder, was his wife and daughter like in GA? Because he was kind of like pointing, almost like he's like, I'm going to sing it to you. And then, because only one of his daughters was there.
Yeah,
but
I think it was Harper.
Yeah, it had to be. Yeah.
Setting Sun was my favorite because it was like a surprise, because they did Ledbetter and I thought, okay, we're finishing, it's the last song, right? Blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden it was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Like it was a little surprise.
Yeah, it was so beautiful the way they did that, like they had their traditional, closing songs like Rockin' in the Free World and Yellow Ledbetter, and then we thought they were going to leave, and then they didn't. They picked up their instruments, like Matt got behind the kit. It was like it was kind of dark. People were beginning to leave, but then they stopped, and it was just like really kind of it felt kind of, I don't know, to me, kind of bittersweet, but like it was just a really beautiful moment to end the show. It just kind of like tapered the night off, you know?
What did we think of the crowd? Like how the crowd was? Did you think they were good or lame or?
Well, I thought that, like, from what I saw in front of me, because I didn't really look too much behind me, I did see a lot of, like, singing along, which is, like, normal. But, yeah, like, what we were noticing just being at the first row of one of the side sections where the entry into GA was, that all of the people that just, like, that kept getting kicked out. So I felt like the crowd was a bit inebriated.
Yes, more than I've ever seen, actually.
I thought they were
I was
lame.
quite surprised.
Like, considering it's been 10 years since they played Vancouver, and I thought they were really lame.
I did feel like they weren't as loud as I expected them to be.
Not at all.
Like, I feel like the last time I saw them in 2011 that they were much louder.
I could see them not coming back to Vancouver again. They're doing 2 shows here, and I can't see them coming back again because it just... Opening of the tour, you think people would have been losing their you-know-what, and they didn't really. A lot of them.
I did see, like, a few people behind us in our very, like, close to this side of Mike's side, you know, section. Like, a lot of people were sitting down, which I thought was, like, is it because of the Dark Matter set, you know? And they were like, but this is an even flow, you know? Like, I felt like that a lot of people were kind of subdued. I mean, of course, there were plenty of us that were losing our minds over stuff. And
I'm still sad that he pulled like a kerfuffle and like screwed us. And I thought we were totally getting full album.
Yeah.
I was, like after the second song, like I was like, okay, we're getting the full album tonight. And then he stopped it. What was it at Wreckage? Right after Wreckage, it was done.
Yeah, and then the things I was like, oh my gosh, is this happening? And then Daughter.
Yeah.
You know, started, and then I felt like that all the people around us were like, ugh. Which is like, I've never heard anything like that for Daughter. And, but then I also was like, no, I thought I was going to get like a whole album. I was like, if they're doing this is really brave, and this is great, you know?
For first show. I thought it was
Absolutely, you know?
I didn't think they were, because they'll leave one song. It's like Gigaton. They'll leave one song that they won't do. They won't do it live for, years.
Oh my gosh, it better not be Waiting for Stevie.
Oh, yeah.
Which we didn't get tonight, and I'm really sad about that.
I am too. That's what I was really hoping for.
Wait, we didn't get anything from Gigaton, did we?
No, we only got the first 5 albums.
Yeah.
And then some Leatherman. That was really
Leatherman,
fun.
Yeah.
You know, when he was telling the story, I'm like, and I think I got Leatherman at a show before, but it made me also realize I haven't sung that song to myself in years, and I was like, oh man, how the hell does this go? And then what else did we get? We got the Tom Petty with the, his guitar, and we got what am I missing?
Red Mosquito was good.
Oh, the Red Mosquito fuck up though.
Yes, that was so entertaining. And they handled it so good, and it was hilarious.
It was really adorable, and I thought it was a really good. I'm like, was this on purpose? Because he had the whole thing with the sound guy saying like he's got 2 buttons, suck and don't suck, and then they play that song, and then they sucked. He's like, and then that was pretty goddamn cute. You know,
it reminded me of 2018, the home shows with Rearview Mirror. And then they started playing a couple of chords, and then he says, and they stopped. He goes, no, that doesn't sound right. And then they started playing an ABBA song, and everyone was like, what the? And then they played a bit of an ABBA song, and then he went, that doesn't sound right either, and then right back into Rearview Mirror. It's kind of reminding me of the same sort of idea, same sort of thing. But it's funny. I liked it.
Yeah, I thought that's like one of my favorite songs of all time. So to have that little like cute moment was fun, you know. And then what was the other thing I wanted to talk about? I feel like I've heard Do the Evolution a million times. But I think this time was really fun because they used excerpts from the video. And I've never seen a version of the video where the girl who is like death or whatever is naked.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that was still the same, you know, character or whatever, but because it was kind of blurry, but we definitely saw boobies. Actually, I was like, that's weird, but okay,
Yeah.
let's go with it. Yeah, that was, I mean, all in all, I thought it was like a really solid show. I thought Eddie sounded really
His
great.
voice is
Yes.
awesome.
You know, he was able to like soar a bit.
And hold a note. Like
Yeah.
he could like drag a note pretty good. Like drag it out and not falter and just.
And they didn't start the show like they did in 2022 or last year with them seated for like four or five songs. They skipped that again, which was good.
Yeah, it was really nice that, like, you know, they opened with Wash and they then Low Light. And it was, you know, Elderly Woman, which kind of perked the crowd up because it got us all singing. Yeah, it was like a nice little, like, soft kind of easing into the show. Like the silhouettes and the shadows on the screen looked really beautiful. Yeah. So I think we got enough. If there's anything else we can talk about. But I'm just going to say this. I am with Margaret and Kiley, who are both Canadians. Margaret lives in Vancouver. And this is which show was this for you?
My 25th
25th show.
and my first time sleeping in my own bed after. I've never seen them at home before.
Yeah, so it's like a milestone concert for you.
Yeah. And our friend Jim from Boston,
Mm-hmm.
it was his 100th show tonight.
Wow, I wish we could have seen him. I don't know. Didn't get a chance to ask him. But I think he was in the chat, so whatever. And Kiley, which show was this for you?
I'm embarrassed to admit it's only my 12th.
That's pretty good. That's
That's
respectable.
Since '93,
Nothing to be
but
embarrassed
that's because
about.
this band stopped going to Alberta 10 years ago.
There you go.
And I don't blame them in some ways because our city or our province is too effing conservative for me. And I get that. That's maybe why they stopped. But anyways, yeah, so I'm a little bitter. But it was nice to get a BC show because I was born and raised in BC. So I'm thrilled
nice.
that we got a BC show.
Yeah, well, it was very cool seeing a show with my Canadian friends.
All right, ladies. Thank you so much for doing that. And we'll hear from you on Monday. I can't wait to see what the follow-up is for all that. So thank you so much. I know we had some problems, we had some errors today, but thank you for hanging with that. I really, really appreciate it. So speaking of Monday, that's where we sit right now. Okay, so what's going to happen? What can we expect? I think, you know, even though this is the second night in the same location, I think you're going to hear a lot of the same Dark Matter songs. But again, I think maybe that this is a trend. They are playing a lot of 2-night stints in places, Vegas, LA, Seattle, and then later down the line, Philly and the Garden and Wrigley and Fenway and some of those places. And I seem to think that outside of Dark Matter, you might get a completely different set of all of the other songs. So you're not getting Even Flow tonight. Pretty much get to expect it on night 2. You got Porch tonight. Maybe you can expect Rearview Mirror or Go ending the set on night 2. So speaking of all of that, what are your expectations knowing a little bit of what we got tonight for the second night of this tour?
Oh, we didn't talk about this. Did you notice that during Porch, the screen was showing them playing in a rearview mirror? So
Yes.
I wonder that if that's the set visual for that part of the set. And sometimes it'll be rearview mirror, sometimes it'll be Porch. It felt like that could
I
be
was thinking that they
interchangeable.
just fucked it up.
Yeah.
They just fucked it up.
Yeah, I think they
Just
probably
weird.
have it especially sad for that. But yeah, I think you definitely finish off the record. I think they're going to try to give everybody the whole record at a tune extent. So I think obviously you'll get Stevie. I think they probably work out to give in there at some point. But yeah, you're going to get these blocks of Dark Matter songs, it feels like. But yeah, I would totally expect no repeats on the catalog material.
How about this, guys? Outside of Dark Matter, 3 Yield, 3 10, 2 Verses, 1 Vitalogy, 1 No Code, nothing from Binaural through Gigaton. Not a single
Wow.
song. I
Yeah.
don't know if that's going to be a trend going forward. Obviously, I think the Gigaton, it was pretty obvious to see that the Gigaton wasn't going to be mixed in within the first few, but knowing that we got something like Red Mosquito and Leatherman pretty early on here means that things can be at play. And I just mentioned this because this was very, very cool. The daughter tag being Bob Cajun from The Hip was outstanding. Just throwing that out there. Something that they never tagged with before.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna be. I don't know. After like reading and listening all the interviews that these guys have done in the past couple of months to promote the record, I'm gonna be very intrigued if there's any of those requests from the rest of the band to Ed. They're gonna be like, okay, maybe we gonna shake it up with Can't Keep to start, maybe some retrograde, since because if we're going to continue that trend that is still going to be a little bit of a slow burner to start with, we might have like a lot of surprises, like a lot. But I think the core for Dark Matter is not going to change very much. But I'm very intrigued to see what else is going to be throw into the pot, to see like what's going to be ended up cooking for that night.
How about a Can't Keep intro for night 2? That'd be crazy.
Oh yeah, I would love to see that.
I'm going to say this. Stone seems so positive by it. I think we'll get multiple. Can't Keep might be that song, like that Garden.
I don't know if I'm going to go that far, but I think they'll do it once.
if they like it though, Stone seemed really positive on it.
Yeah,
maybe there's some convincing here. I feel like in the next 10 shows they'll bring it out at least once, and then maybe we'll see it a multiple time if they really felt with it. Just throwing it out.
And then we're gonna get an all or none. Life will be better from that point.
I'll take it all. I'll take all the Riot Act songs I haven't seen.
Yeah, me too.
I have seen all or none. I'll take it all. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening in. This being the first one, get it under our belt. I think we were all anticipating this and really excited for it. And now it's just from show to show to show. We got one on Monday. We got another one in Portland on Friday, and then we'll go back to next Monday for Sacramento. So a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to mention this one more time, you guys. We do have this episode was for free on all platforms that it was available on, because we wanted to give you guys a sense of what we're going to be doing this whole entire tour year, from the European shows to the East Coast shows, even of course, the Australia and New Zealand shows as well. But we want to give you a sense of what we're going to be doing after this. This is through the subscription platform on Patreon. So if you do want to subscribe, be able to get these episodes nightly, or I should say every morning after the show has ended, then please, patreon.com/live14legs, join up. It's only $1 a month. It helps contribute to what we're doing, and a lot of stuff that we're doing out on tour this year will need the funding. A lot of marketing stuff and things like that. We absolutely could use as much help as humanly possible. So thank you all for listening into this, and we got lots more tour left to go, you guys. So this is just one of the very many, over 40 now, I believe. If they continue on and not have to cancel anything, this is going to be a special, special, special year with lots more Dark Matter. I don't think that I can't see sets having less than 7 Dark Matter songs because of how great these all sounded here. Not a dud in the bunch. And it's been a long time since we've said that about a record. Maybe ever. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you Tuesday morning, and enjoy the shows if you're heading out, and make sure you find the instant reaction spot when we're doing it. So take care. See you later.